So I'm glad we could join today, Lily. I'm glad. I want to first say you're the first musician that has decided to talk about mixing mental health and music together. So I really thank you for that. Like, I feel like balloons and like confetti and everything should drop down out of the sky.
Really?
Yeah. And at
Yeah.
the same time, you're probably like, okay, Randy, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to do? Um, so I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just kind of give you a brief introduction what I'm trying to do, and then we'll see if you can fit into that in some way.
Yeah.
All right. So I founded Midwest Anxiety in 2009, and we have for the first 5 years was just a traditional psychotherapy office where you would come into the office and if you struggle with anxiety or depression or whatever it might be, we would help you with that. And we did that office setting. And then about 2014, 15, we decided to go community based, meaning we would go into homes and we would do all that. And what I found is that people and our culture just have really a narrow way of looking at mental health.
Mhm.
And kind of over the years, I found that therapy for people can be done in lots of different ways. I think our culture really has just a very narrow way of looking at therapy, of it being in an office and talking to a professional, which that is therapy. But what I'm trying to do here in 2025 is really broaden mental health and broaden therapy to more than just talking to a professional in an office. I think that there's a lot of different ways that people can focus on their mental health. Music being one of those. I love music. I find music is probably in my top three ways that I'm just able to release a lot of negative energy and just find that positive space. And so part of our work in 2025 is really to engage other people and other professions, other industries, other spaces other than mental health, so that we can kind of try to merge whatever space that is with mental health. And so for you, I understand that you're in the music industry, that you play cello. Is that right?
CELLIST,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And so, my thought is I think the cool thing about this is that we get to kind of work together to find what might fit best for you and what might fit best for Midwest Anxiety, and just really creatively try to design something that will hopefully be beneficial to the community, and they can see that music is a great way to experience their mental health. And my hope would be is just in some way we can come together and we can merge the two together in some type of opportunity for our community. I don't know what that is at this point because that's why we're talking, right? That's
Yeah.
what we're planning to do and talk. So that's kind of the gist and the basis for us getting together today is just to find, I don't I can't play any instruments. I don't know how to. I
Mhm.
know a lot of musicians, and I always wanted to play music, but I can't do that. So that's why I'm reaching out to you and others to help me with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
So I guess maybe, just so I have an idea, just tell me where you are in your life as far as music and just maybe where you are personally in your life. I think you're in high school, is that right?
Yep, I'm a junior. So I've been playing cello for about 6 years, mostly classical, but recently, as college stuff has been coming up, I've been looking at careers, and I think music therapy would be really great. I
Oh,
don't know a ton about it at the moment, but it's something that I'd like to think about pursuing or pursue. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty good fit. You got the music, I got the therapy, music therapy together. Uh, what and you're just kind of really just beginning stages of thinking about music therapy. What's that? Do you have any idea what's that mean to you?
From what I have learned, just looking online and talking to a few people, it's engaging with people through music and helping them process maybe memories or emotions they have through a different part of their brain than normal.
I love that. I love that. I think you probably said it better than I could say it. Yeah, uh so that's perfect and that's great. And so you're a junior now, and are you where how I guess tell me a little bit about your cello experience, and do you play now in the orchestra, or what are you doing, I guess?
Yeah, during high school, I've been a part of a few different groups. I was a part of the Youth Symphony of Kansas City and
Hmm,
recently joined Ad Astra Chamber
no,
Orchestra. So I do orchestra both in and outside of school, and I work with a private teacher and do some solo performances as well.
awesome. So you know how to play a cello, I guess.
Mm.
Um, well, I think that's great. As far as this opportunity with Midwest Anxiety, tell me, it sounds like you can understand a little bit of what I'm looking for. Tell me, certainly I've got some ideas, but I really want this to be, a collaboration between you and I, and just trying to figure out, how we might best be able to go about this, So, um, before I kind of speak to that, have you been able to think about, like, okay, how you might be able to use this experience with Midwest Anxiety in some way? I mean, I guess I'll hear from you first on that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it would look like yet. I've never worked with people before, so I'm not exactly sure how to get integrated into that. So, yeah,
Well, this is a first for us too. And you being the first musician, hey, we're gonna try this on together.
Mhm.
I can give you kind of like a 30,000 foot overview of what I kind of am thinking, and then we'll see kind of how that fits into what you might be able to provide. I think different musicians will be able to provide different things, and I don't, like I said before, I don't know the music space at all. I go to concerts, and I listen to music, but I don't know what goes into really performing music. And that's really what I am going to lean heavily on you for, Lily, is the what goes into performing the music. I know the mental health part of it, and so what I see is like a really big overview, is I think really two different kind of areas, and this is probably going to, grow into many more over time.
Mhm.
But really what the first thing is that I would just like to find maybe some space, where that you can just perform your music. You can perform your music, and that Midwest Anxiety can be a part of that in developing and creating kind of what that performance is. And again, I don't know about performing the cello. I don't know if is that something you can do solo, or do you have to have other musicians with you?
I can do quite a bit solo, but I think for other genres of music outside of classical, it's really great to have multiple musicians to create that sort of sound. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll just we'll kind of work on this together to figure out what this is going to look like. But I think, from a 30,000 foot overview, is that we create some event, and you and some of your musicians, we would have an event, and as part of the event there would be some mental health component to that. Either
Mhm.
you might be speaking to whatever, you where how mental health hits you, and kind of where that is in your life, or and I would be doing the same thing. I would be doing the same thing where I would be providing some kind of discussion, conversation about mental health during um, during different parts of your performance, I guess. So you or, a collaboration of musicians would be performing the music, and then there would be some discussion that's mental health discussion that's woven through the performance. I've done that in a lot of different ways. Before, I've had like a panel that we've had before of different experts in different mental health kind of fields, and we've had conversation. But I guess really, if you can just think about it in a very basic term, there will be you or a combination of musicians playing and some mental health discussion. That's kind of like the most basic part of what I see, a basic kind of a thing.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup.